Hi everyone, welcome back to Cardvoyant. I'm Kris and I'm your Cardvoyant, and today I have another reading for you, or we're going to do another reading. First, let me just say thank you for being here, thank you for watching these videos, thank you for subscribing, ringing the bell, all that stuff. If you'd like a reading, cardvoyant.com is where you can do that, reading from me, and that'll be at the end of the video as well. So I generally just work through tarot, and then also I have the Jacob's Journal material that I do, which is channeled material from guides that have been asked. It's like a collection of guides, but have asked to be called Jacob's, an easy way to refer to them. So I don't get a lot of things through dreams or kind of visiony kind of things like my sister Kim does. But the other night, I actually woke up from a dream and had this phrase in my head, and it kind of wouldn't go away. And so I wrote it down in the middle of the night. It's like dark, and I'm not a very good person who does journals, dream journals and things like that, because I forget them, of course, even though that's why they tell you to do it. And it's the whole waking up and writing thing. So I just wrote it down. You know, it looks kind of crazy because it was the middle of the night. It was just a phrase. And the phrase was, this can drive people crazy, and some people have. And what it was talking about, what I knew from the dream that I'd been having, and then just from some of the stuff that I've been dealing with, and some people that I know have been dealing with. It refers to this lockdown and how difficult it has been. I know so many people are, not that they're thriving, but we are getting through. You know, you go day to day, but you are getting through. But a lot of people, and I think especially young people, and I'm talking like teenagers, these kids that aren't having the social interaction that they would get in junior high or high school or even elementary school. They're at college age too, obviously, but they're having a very difficult time. I mean, it's hard for the most mature of spirits and minds to be locked down and be worried about, you know, contracting a pretty deadly virus for, you know, 7, 8 months, whatever it's been now. We lose track of time. Um, so that phrase came through, and I thought, the following morning, I thought, you know, I really need to do a reading on that. And what I thought this reading would be, I mean, it's about that. It's you know, sprung from that. But the idea of the reading is just going to be, you know, what can we do? What do we need to know about these sort of mental health issues? How can we help? I mean, how do we handle this? What's the energy behind this, and how do we handle it? So I thought I'd just do, and I've said this to my guys, I'm going to do a 3-card reading, so this, you know, doesn't last very long, and we can just kind of hopefully get some sort of message. I think this will come from my guides, from my Jacob's guides, and I also feel like there are guides who are just sort of involved in the situation, helping the situation, trying to help us. So we'll call on them as well, sort of pandemic guides. But let me go ahead and shuffle, and I will edit out this long period of shuffling, and then we'll go ahead with the reading. Well, these are some very interesting cards, and you know, a kind of difficult cards. We've got this Nine of Wands. You know, wands are such wonderful cards. They do talk about the things that we love, the things that we want, the things that we care about, are the things we bring into the world. You know, the things that are meaningful to us. But in this nine, you see this figure here who looks battle weary. He's worn. I mean, he's tired. He's accumulated all these wands that are wonderful, but he's he's tired, right? And this is the situation we're in. What else can you say? This is the situation we're in. You know, I have to say that this nine, I believe, has some significance, and it may be the amount of time. I mean, for me, I always mark March 11th, which is one of my son's birthday. That's why I remember it so well. That was the day that the NBA shut down. It was the day that uh, Tom Hanks and his wife announced that they had the virus, and the day that everything just sort of felt like it, you know, it came to a head. I know that some people had locked down even earlier, but for me, that's when it begins. So, you know, you think all of March. So it's March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We're into October. If we go with the 9 and 9 months, that means all of November. This can also, or into November, right? So this may coincide with the election. I mean, that may be something that, because we do know that things will change if there's a change in the administration. It may be that there's some kind of breakthrough or something. I mean, we can hope, right? Um, but but overall, this card is just acknowledging that we're in a difficult time, but we have things to gain from it. We have things that we are fighting for, fighting to maintain, the things that we care about, the things that we love, and also the things that we're working toward. And so, you know, sometimes you get these cards that are just kind of an acknowledgement saying, yes, yes, this is what is happening. But with this card, you get this idea of purpose. There's these things are happening for a reason. And then you get this Ten of Swords card. Oh, the Ten of Swords card. I mean, there's very little to look at in this card and say, oh, that looks good. It's a difficult card, and it's this kind of stabbed in the back card. I mean, that's what it looks like, and it's often about betrayal. Oh man, this has to do with Trump and the way he's betrayed. I mean, the country, but people, and I have to say this just has so much to do with young people. They have been betrayed by their leaders, by the adults of the world, right? I mean, we've let them down, and they're in such a difficult situation. This, I have to say, this is quite a. I mean, proving ground sounds overly sort of controlling. You know, I mean, it's not quite the right phrase to use, and yet this is something that this entire generation will, it's actually two generations of quite young people and very young people who will carry the memory of this with them for their entire lives. And I'm telling you, they will work to change, because everything about them, everything they see is an absolute mess. And that it's highlighted by their own constriction, restriction, containment during this time. And so it's like the bubble through which they're viewing their rest of the mess of the world, which has to do with injustice, and it has to do with the climate crisis, and it has to do with um, you know, racial inequities and poverty and um, governmental structures, so many things that are so clear to them that they will absolutely fight to change. this generation and the generation, this generation of young people in their 30s and 20s, and then this other generation of young people that are in their teens and in their, you know, 0 to 10 years, is preteens and even down to toddlers. That generation, they're just they are going to do amazing things. They're amazing people. And if you have a child this age, you probably know that. I mean, you can see probably that spark in them. And you know, even these so many kids that are being told and raised in ways that allow them to be themselves and express themselves in whatever way they choose. I mean, it's so different from any other generation ever, where we have so many people saying, "You be you." And so there's just this expression, and we have so much expression that's going to be born out in the days, weeks, and months, years, generations to come. Um, it's really an amazing thing that's happening. Very unlike anything that's happened, you know, in this iteration of Earth life. It's just a wonderful thing, but very difficult right now. But these kids, they're they're learning things, lessons that they didn't have to learn. I mean, they didn't have to be put through this. We, as adults, really are very much putting them through this from the choices that we've made, sadly. Uh, but the good news is this King of Cups card. I mean, it's wonderful on a lot of levels. First of all, this is expressing the love of the universe for everyone. I mean, for all of us. And I'm talking about this very young generation that's, you know, really dealing with things that they're not that well equipped to deal with. Hopefully, as adults, we're a little bit more equipped. And even for us, it's been horrible in so many ways. But, you know, we are adults. But speaking of these kids and of us, this card talks about the love of the universe, this universal love, this King of Cups love. You can see the water behind him. That talks about intuitive, universal, spiritual, eternal things. And here he is, you know, sort of riding that tide, right? And so it does talk about this love of the universe, the support, the knowledge that this too will pass. But I think that the message here is to understand that there really is a purpose in all of this, and it's very, very, in this moment especially, it's very important for us to know that this truly will come to an end. And so many things are going to change, and we will be better for them. Now, many things, and I've said this before, many things are a ways off, right? This younger generation will see some of them, the very youngest generation will see most of it come to fruition. For us as adults, you know, we may see a limited number of things actually come to pass, but we'll definitely see the forward motion. And some things will change right away. Um, and the progress, the commitment to progress, the commitment to justice and mercy and love, and then this growth in connection with the non-physical world that we've talked about, the shift we've talked about, that's a slower process, but it gains momentum every single day. I mean, it's a fantastic thing. And we will feel, especially those of you, those of us who are uh, aware of this happening and who are very in touch or trying to be in touch with their intuitive selves, you'll feel it. You'll understand it. You'll know what's happening. Some other people might not quite know what's happening or the scope of what's going to happen, But those of you who are interested in this, who try to be in touch, you will know and you will see it. And we'll talk about it. And more people will know and grow in this. And these young people are just going to push it all along beautifully. It's a wonderful King of Cups energy. And here's the biggest message is that even when we do these things as a species of human beings, these mistakes that we make, these big mistakes that we make, and when our priorities are not what they should be, through all of this, and especially now when all of these changes are happening and they're painful to make these changes, and we're going through some painful things and experiencing some painful things, not just like the virus. I mean, some of these things that are being brought to light, these kind of justice things, then there's all these things like natural disasters and things like that. I mean, it's a painful, chaotic kind of time, but the message of the King of Cups is that it's all done in love. I mean, it didn't have to be this way. We bring about these things at our own energy, right? But the things the love that is there is continual and fights the universe, our spirit guides, the God source, however you want to think of it, this King of Cups energy fights for us to emerge from these things that honestly we have created. But we are emerging. I mean, we are emerging. We will emerge further. And as we do, the energy, this King of Cups energy, this all of it is God source energy, it grows. It grows and grows. The momentum is just building and will push us further along. It's the promise. Right? And it's the promise for these young people. The other part of this King of Cups energy is almost like pleading with us to bestow this, as this is being bestowed upon us as a species, as human beings from the universe. It's calling on us to do the same for these young people, to help them along, to be patient, right? Give them a break, to understand how difficult it is for us, and multiply that tenfold for the children, for the young people, and just allow your love for them to overshadow any sort of ways in which they try to deal with this. Help them as much as possible. Be understanding, be patient, and be there for them, as we should be, for each other always, but especially for the children, especially for the young people. We can all do our part, whether or not we have children, just in being kind, right? I mean, if you go to the drive-through, there's a very good chance you're going to be working with some young people, just in these very tough. If you've ever had one of those jobs where you worked with the public in that kind of capacity, drive-through or grocery stores or whatever, you understand how difficult that can be. And, just these simple acts of being kind, being friendly, being thankful to them, for them, can go a long, long way. And that's that King of Cups energy that we want to embrace, that we hope for ourselves, and that we hope for others. So it's a message of hope, even as these first two cards acknowledge how very difficult this is. There is hope at the end, and know that this is everything that we go through, and the universe always has for us, is based in love, brokered by love, and moving us toward love. So I hope that very short reading is helpful. I felt that it was a reading that I should do. There's a lot of stuff going on that, I mean, you could do like 50 readings a day on the stuff and people that are going on. But I feel like I kind of wait to do things until I feel like they're important or need to be heard. So I hope that this is helpful to some of you out there, and definitely to these wonderful upcoming, rising, growing, learning generations, because they really are a wonderful and wonderfully inspired generation. And kind of can't wait to see what they do. So again, there you have it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. If you would like a reading with me, that's cardvoyant.com. And until next time, I will just say thank you for watching. Please take care of yourself. Please take care of others. And I'll add, please take care of this young generation as best you can. And until next time, bye for now.